Absolute Sinestro is not happy about the lantern anomalies, and something absolutely strange awaits. The planet Ran. Overseer Shade leans forward in his chair, glaring at the image on the screen before him. Controller Sinestro's image crackles on the screen. The Tomar situation is escalating, Overseer. One anomaly we could tolerate. Ray of Zudar was an irritant, but little threat. There's only so much you can do with the red level. A green anomaly manifesting in a world outside our reach? Troubling, but not a concern. Unless they meet. And my sources say they have. Sinestro explains. Overseer Shade leans back in his command chair. With respect, Controller. What am I supposed to do about this? I'm the Overseer of Ran. I'm trying to convert this backwater world to the Black Star Way. I've had to maintain security with converts and raw recruits from my own world. I have to take personal command of important missions, and Ran is right at the edge of our sphere of influence, Shade points out. Sinestro shakes his head. No longer. You're at the heart of things now, Overseer. Do you know about the planet Earth? A world not too far from Ran. Beneath the interest of the cult of Oa, I thought. But it seems they're getting desperate. A lantern was stationed there. One of their recruiting stations. The Abensur assigned to it died, and a new Tomar was created. I've been bringing the destroyer planet Mogo to Earth, but Mogo moves at its own pace, and the Tomars don't want to wait patiently. They're coming to me. Assign every black hand you have. When they slingshot past your largest sun, take your shot. Break the lantern. Secure or kill the Tomars. No excuses. Controller out. Sinestro growls before the screen goes black. Shade stares at it for a moment before turning to his intelligencer. You heard the order. Assign all 2 of our black hands to Cagecraft for immediate launch, he tells her with a sigh. She nods and taps buttons on her datapad. With that done, Overseer Shade continues his day's tasks. All right, send in the next meeting, he orders. The doors slide open as 2 Black Star soldiers drag in a scientist and throw him to the floor. Please listen to me. This is Ran. Science has reigned on this world since the One-Day War. I have every right to experiment with non-destructive technologies, Scientician Sardath claims. He looks up at Shade. I was testing a simple communicator beam. That's all. Nothing more. Suddenly, Shade's image begins to shift. His body morphs and his head stretches. Sardath's eyes go wide at the horrible image. I was trying to be of service, Sardath moans. Shade rears up, now a monstrous creature that towers over the Scientician. Some science from my world, Scientician, Shade says, explaining that the M-Vest warps the mind and distorts reality for any criminal it encounters. Criminals like you, Sardath. The scientist shakes his head and falls to the floor, begging for mercy. Overseer, please! If you're a man of science, you must understand, he whispers. But Shade shakes his head, explaining that he once wished to be a poet. I studied the humanities, but in the zone I come from, if the young refuse to change, change is forced upon them, he says as he removes his helmet and reveals the scar on his forehead. The sacred laser enters their brain and carves out childish things, creating responsible adults, he says before leaning forward. Tell me about your Zeta beam, Sardath. Shade orders. Sardath struggles to his knees, explaining that the Zeta beam is merely for communication, that it is designed to contact other dimensions, to spread the philosophy of Mu. I thought if I could be helpful to you, you'd tell me what happened to Alana, he whispers. Shade glances at his intelligencer and orders her to send for the Black Star. He looks back to Sardath. Your daughter Alana led the resistance against us when we first arrived, Sardath. We'd have been within our rights to exile her to the Zero Zone, where the only way out is further in, into the zone of madness, he says. Sardath glares at him. So, that is what you did to her? He whispers. A Black Star enters the chamber, and Sardath turns in surprise to see his daughter. Her forehead was marred by the same laser scar as Shade. No, but they'd have been within their rights to. I see that now, Alana tells her father. Sardath shakes his head as he realizes that everything his daughter was is gone. Last chance, Sardath. Tell me the true purpose of the Zeta Beam, or your own daughter negates you, and I find out myself, Shade growls. Sardath bows his head sadly. You're monsters. You're all monsters, he whispers. Alana fires at the Overseer's command, and the scientician's body crumples to the floor. But now, the Overseer and his Black Stars have no choice but to investigate Sardath's lab themselves. They fly over the grand city below them, the civilians glaring up at the passing monsters, before finally arriving at the lab. The hovercraft lands and Shade turns to Black Star Alana. All right, Alana, take 2 N-agents. I'll wait out here, he orders. The soldiers head inside, but find no traps to slow them down. The lab is completely empty, except for the strange blue beam that shoots into a portal. The Zeta Beam, Alana whispers as she steps forward, the blue light filling her eyes. She looks over the equipment. I'm not seeing anything dangerous, but he's done something to the beam, amplified it. Who's he communicating with? She wonders. Suddenly, the portal begins to glow brightly, and there is a flash of light. The beam! It's locked onto somebody in the Zero Zone. Somebody's coming through! One of the N-agents shouts. Suddenly, a red-haired woman is standing before them. One of the N-agents raises his blaster pistol and orders her to surrender. The woman moves fast, kicking him hard in the face and knocking his weapon into the air. She catches it and turns, firing 3 times into the next agent before he can react. She spins again and aims the pistol at Alana. The woman begins to shout, but her words are alien to Alana. I can't understand what you're saying. Just let my menticizer work, all right? The device will translate for us once it has enough of your language, Alana explains. It doesn't take long before the 2 women can understand each other. Cute trick. So what is this? The future? How long was I in there? The woman asks. Alana shakes her head. I don't know. What was the last thing you remember? Tell me your name. The woman thinks about it for a moment. The last thing I remember was shooting Baron Blitzkrieg in the face. Then everything went white. Emily Hawk, OSS Agent 0. Now lower your weapon, Emily says. Outside, Shade looks up into the sky and sees the Green Lantern has appeared in orbit. Suddenly, the door to the lab bursts open and the red-haired woman, armed with Alana's blaster, rushes out. She doesn't hesitate and raises the weapon, opening fire on the Black Star hovercraft. Emily levels the weapon at Shade. I'm guessing you're the boss, she hisses. "You're guessing right," Shade says, as his image begins to shift with the power of the M-Vest. He becomes a monster once more, feeding off the fears of the population around him. He begins to attack Emily, knocking her to the ground, hitting her again and again until her face is bloody. Sardath's accomplice, I assume. The M-Vest distorts perception. The crowd sees a monster, so I am one. If I turn the vest to you, what will you see? He wonders as he adjusts the technology. He begins to shift again, but this time he is shrinking, his body becoming thin and stunted. "What?" Shade whispers. Emily jumps to her feet and rushes him, flipping over his head before grabbing him by the neck and twisting violently. Shade falls to the ground as the crack of bone echoes around them. "I just see another weak little fascist," Emily whispers. The crowd begins to gather around them, people looking in shock at what this stranger has done. But suddenly, Emily begins to fade away. "Damn, guess that's my cue to leave," she whispers before disappearing. Once again, she finds herself floating into the zone of madness, the M-Zone. The bones of the dead drifting around her. She turns as a great being appears in the swirling lights. The being looks down on her with glowing eyes. "No man escapes," the Manhunter states. And that was the complete story for Absolute Green Lantern, issue 13 by Al Ewing. Emily Hawke has arrived, a brand new Absolute Universe original character, and has defeated Commander Shade, the Changing Man. But what's gonna happen with Sinestro and the Manhunters? We'll just have to wait and find out. But let me know what you thought about today's video in the comments down below. And like and subscribe to help out the channel. I'm Dan with Comicstorian, and we will see you next time. Rest in peace, Benny.